Welcome to the Saturday Night Live Afterparty. This week, we'll be discussing Season 47, Episode 2 of SNL with host Kim Kardashian-West and musical guest Halsey. I'm Katherine Coleman, and I'm joined this week by NYC-based sketch comedians Charlotte Otrimba and Laura Ornella. You can connect with Charlotte and Laura on Instagram at Charlotte Otrimba and at _ Laura Ornella. And you can find us at snlpodcast.com. Enjoy these selected highlights from this week's discussion, and if you'd like to watch our full-length, ad-free sketch-by-sketch review, you can find it exclusively at patreon.com/snlpodcast. It's our supporters that make this show possible, and we're so thankful to everyone who's already come on board. All right, here we go. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Well, thank you so much, Catherine. That was a beautiful intro, a one-take wonder.
Thank you. Yeah, look at me go. I've grown so much. You know, in my second season hosting the podcast, I've finally learned the intro like the back of my hand.
Flawless.
But yeah, I hope you're ready to talk about this episode with a host that a lot of people were really nervous about, and then I think ultimately performed. And it's chock full of cameos, so a lot to talk about. But first, I want to make sure everybody knows who you are. So, Charlotte, you'll remember Charlotte from episodes last season. It's so great to have you back, Charlotte. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you, Catherine. I am so happy to be back, especially talking about this episode. You know, there's a lot of discussion ahead of time, so I'm eager to get into it. And as Catherine said, I'm a sketch comedian as well, and I am on the same team as her this year. So I'm very excited to be working with Catherine even more, and excited to dive in.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot to lead with that.
I mean, really.
Charlotte was nice enough to join the team I'm directing and has already written an amazing sketch that I can't wait to produce for our show at the end of the month.
So pumped. So kind.
And speaking of my sketch teams, another person from a different sketch team I'm on, Laura Ornella from my Boogie Munja team Wilburn. She is a character actress, a comedian, and the founder of a comedy platform, Humor Darling. So, Laura, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I have no clue how you're able to do 2 sketch teams and 2 podcasts. So you're the true superhero in the room.
Yeah.
I'm a busy person, but it's all fun.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It is.
That's the good part of it. So, Laura, tell us a little bit. We like to do this thing to make sure the audience can trust you to critique the show that they love. So, you know, I know you got the qualifications. Tell the audience about it and what's your SNL story. How'd you get into the show? Do you watch it every week? Are you more casual, etc.?
I am more casual with watching SNL, but that's not to say I don't love character actors. It's something that is a big focus in my life, creating characters and workshopping them. So I feel very connected to SNL in the way that I see people rise up in the ranks and then eventually join the cast. And it's just really thrilling to even start by, watching at your local theater, seeing who gets selected for JFL, and then ultimately seeing who gets chosen for SNL and just seeing that whole journey progress for them. So I don't always watch it every week, but I feel like having taken class and having it be my passion, I know what goes into it. And for them to do it weekly, it's like near miraculous. So
that's right.
So true.
For sure. All right. Well, y'all ready to dive into the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
And it's so great to be here tonight. I know, I'm surprised to see me here too.
Kim Kardashian-West set out to prove she's more than a pretty face, good hair, great makeup, amazing boobs, and the perfect butt. Charlotte, the monologue win?
2 wins for me, which is 1, the writing. So I thought the writing was this great mix of poking fun at herself and her family, but not being too mean towards anybody, And it was all just so relevant and funny. And I have to say, I was very impressed with Kim's delivery. and her timing, her pacing, she wasn't too fast. You'll see sometimes hosts that aren't even hosts that are actors who aren't maybe comedy performers or used to live performances sort of get nervous with all of the energy of the crowd and speed through. Kim didn't, and she took the pauses for the laughs and she smiled at the audience. I mean, I was very impressed with Kim Kardashian West delivery, and I was a fan, and I thought the monologue was a huge win overall. I laughed through it, especially the Corey line.
Yeah, they came with some heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
Kim
say.
Kim was down to clown.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that. But she was surprisingly game to like make fun of herself, which I did not anticipate.
Mhm.
And not just herself, but her whole family and their persona and everything. And I really appreciated that because with a lot of these guests, you're just really not sure. Like with Elon last season, you're like, is he gonna let them just make fun of him? So I liked that, and I thought this had some really great jokes, albeit with a few clumsy transitions, which I'm honestly not sure if it was the writing or the delivery there, but nonetheless, I thought each piece of it was really, really great. And yeah, Kim, I think she was a little stiff, but not the most stiff we've ever seen for sure.
No.
And she was showing that she had such a good attitude about it that it did make me. I was on board with her for
Yeah.
like, let's see where this episode takes us. She's here. She's game to play. Let's see where it goes. And Laura, are you feeling similarly to Charlotte and I?
I think so, yes. I was watching and my jaw just dropped because I felt the same way. I was so shocked. Like, for me, I was like, how did the writers of this monologue like navigate how far they could go? Because it wasn't mean by any means, but it was shocking to me. And I was like, wow, I can't believe she's saying that with such a good attitude. So I was really impressed, not just with Kim, but all involved in the creation of this monologue.
Yeah.
And shout out to Jasmine Pierce, I believe, wrote it with someone
Amazing.
else. But
Jasmine's great. Yeah.
yeah.
Reductress writer originally, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, let's get into our sketch fair. Kim has plenty of men to choose from on The Dream Guy, with cameos from John Cena, Blake Griffin, Jesse Williams, Chris Rock, Tyler C., Chase Crawford, and surprisingly, Amy Schumer. So this was our not Bachelorette yet Bachelorette parody. Charlotte, was it a win?
I guess if you were counting how many celebrities you could fit into a sketch, it would for sure win gold medal. I mean, it's a fun sketch. I don't watch The Bachelor or Bachelorette, so I feel like I don't always totally relate to this. Whereas I feel like, my friends who watch those shows, they found the sketch extra hilarious. I thought it was fun and funny. It makes sense for Kim Kardashian because she's newly single and she's beautiful, and then getting all these celebrities in to try to win her attention. Like, it all makes sense. I'm like, yes, this makes sense to do this sketch. And I thought all the funny quips about all of these guys, they were really funny, about like Chris Rock, making her watch his 9 specials and him mouthing the words, and like Chase Crawford reminding everybody that he's also on The Boys and not just Gossip Girl in the past. Great. The Amy Schumer bit, totally unexpected. I loved it. So I laughed at those individual moments. Is this sketch totally up my alley? Not really, but I appreciate it, and I thought it was a great choice for the show.
Sure. Laura, where'd you land?
Yeah, I also really don't watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. That's a show, right? That is on as well. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in
Yes.
Paradise. There's
and
a
I
lot.
don't watch Love Island, but I don't know. That probably fits into the world. I, again, just love Kyle Mooney. So I was just like, I don't know these other men. I knew Chris Rock. I knew a few people in there, but I don't know these other men. And I'm just here for Kyle. And that's to me, immediately, I was like, I don't know. bring him in sooner. That's like where I stood on that. Like,
Mhm.
I
Good point.
felt like we were all waiting to see what that character was about. And to save him sort of dead last, I guess I felt like if I were to rework it, it would be bringing Kyle up a little earlier.
Mhm.
And I don't know how, but I also don't work for SNL. So,
Well,
Right.
yeah, I mean that's my big note too, is that
yeah.
like the cameos are great and they're fun, and I
Mhm.
get why they put them in there because they're crowd pleasers. You
Mhm.
know, it's exciting and it people are gonna watch the sketch because they hear these guys are in it. I get that, but the funny thing here, at least to me, is that one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
Like, how did Kyle get in with these guys? And so I like you said, Laura, I would have loved to get into that sooner and do more with that. And that's not to say, like Charlotte was saying, all the individual things worked. Like they were funny
Yeah.
little things about each person, but that wasn't the most fertile ground in the sketch for me. So yeah, it's interesting choices were made here. If you like the cameos and that's what you're watching for, then this is going to be a huge win for you. But I think it definitely left me a little wanting. It sounds like it left you all that way too.
Yes.
Agree.
All right, well let's keep going. Everyone is making hard seltzers, and this please don't destroy video. And I'm gonna let you two really break this down. But before we do, I want to set up the important context of what we're seeing here, which is that these three guys, please don't destroy, were technically hired this season as writers. But this is our first taste of what a lot of people sort of hypothesized might be happening, and that's that they're being given a good bit of free reign to make pre-tapes in their style and perform in them even though they're not billed cast members, which is something we have not seen since The Lonely Island. They hired Good Neighbor, and they put Beck and Kyle on the cast. They put Dave as a director and Nick as a writer, and Good Neighbor did their stuff with their voice, but the SNL way, right?
Mhm.
Whereas now we're having these guys come in and do something a lot like The Lonely Island did, and making it their way, their voice, they're performing it. And this was just a very fast paced, quick cut YouTube style sketch and will likely be the first of many in what is, I believe they're trying to make, the new age of digital shorts. So this is
Mhm.
a pretty big deal. And that with
Yeah.
all that context put on your shoulders, Charlotte, were you here for it?
I was 100% here for it. I said before, the other bit was my favorite or second favorite. This was by far my favorite. I love the fast paced energy of it. I love that it touched on this very real truism that we all face, which is like, oh my God, why are there so many seltzers now? And I love that it gets more extreme, and I love the intensity of it. I love the energy and I love the quick cuts. And I watched it like 3 times because I thought it was so funny and I laughed each time. And I'm just so excited about it. I really loved this sort of new voice, this sort of fresh voice coming in on the show, and it didn't feel like it was competing with the rest of the show. It still felt like it was part of the show, and part of the cast and everything and writers, but it just felt a little newer. And I think it's really smart what they're doing because they do have such a following, on TikTok and on social media. And it's a great way to bring some of that fast-paced energy in and a little bit fresher energy.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan. I loved it. I cackled and so many things worked about it, and I'm excited to see more.
I agree completely. Charlotte, I agree completely. Yeah, please don't destroy. My whole first experience with them was through TikTok. I know that they are big in the New York comedy community and there's mutuals. And I'm just so happy for them. I feel like, it's not only like great for them, it's great for SNL.
Mhm.
I think you are trying to bring in a younger generation, Gen Z, Gen X. How old are they? I don't know. Let's not think about it. And they are big on TikTok. And I agree with you completely. I don't think that it felt competitive at all. It felt observational and just a little bit quirkier. Um, and to be honest, like, you know, that's kind of my style. So it really was a highlight for me. and like Kyle and Beck with Good Neighbor, like I feel like that, like knowing that they, like knowing about their comedy before they were brought onto SNL, like it moved me to watch them on SNL. So it works, you know. And I'm really excited to just see what they do, because it also, like you said, they are keeping their own style, but I don't know. There was like a little merging to SNL with the Seltzer sketch. And I think it was just the right balance to like still be weird, but like you're on cable, or, I guess you're on Peacock.
Palatable.
Yeah. So it was the best of both worlds for me. Yeah.
Yeah, big win here. It potentially historic, as historic as a Saturday Night Live sketch can be. Thing we're seeing here, very funny. I'm really glad y'all liked it, and I enjoyed it as well, and I'm just really interested to see how this continues. If I'm sure this is the first of many, and they will continue to do this. It definitely seems like this is what they were brought in for, and they build them as
Yeah.
writers, but they seems like they maybe had an agreement of like, we're gonna do like our own pre-tape thing, and it's gonna be us. We're going to be Please Don't Destroy does SNL.
And they
Which
come
is
from
great.
sorry. I was going to say they come from, comedy backgrounds. So they know the world. So
Very well.
their parents, or I mean, not that
Right.
matters, but I'm just saying, like, it's in the
it's
family.
important to know.
Yeah.
It's important to note, and an interesting thing to discuss is that they do come from comedy. John Higgins' father is a producer on the show, and there was some controversy about that when they were announced, and people were not happy. And so it's interesting that they've come out with this that has been widely very, very well received. And I think, that's a big statement of like, no, we're funny in our own right. And did it help us? I'm sure, but we didn't get here for nothing, So
That's true. Yeah.
big
Still
win
gotta
here.
prove yourself at the end of the day.
Right. If you want to see our full sketch by sketch review, search for SNL Afterparty on Patreon or subscribestar.com. Let's get into our overall thoughts and feelings. And up first is moment of the night. Charlotte, what is it?
I think my moment of the night is that exact moment where Henry Fink, Alex Moffat, thinks he catches Colin in his hand, and then he turns and Colin hits him, and then they're both scare each other. I think what it is that they both committed so deeply to the moment, and you saw that spontaneity, which is like every actor's dream, to like create true spontaneity and a spark of a moment. So I absolutely loved that moment. That was like pure joy and hilarity.
That's a good one. Like, Alex had a lot of really good timing in there, because I think right after that moment, he sort of just stared off for a second.
Yeah.
And then like came back in,
good.
and that was just so great.
Yes.
My moment, I'm going to give it to when we cut through screwdriver, mustache, finger, and then we just see blood shooting out of the tube. Just the moment where you can sort of see where this is going, but to actually like literally see the blood coming out, that was a great moment for me. Laura, what's your moment of the night?
You guys both chose really good moments, and I wish I could just claim them all as my moment. This is tough because I really did love Terry Fink. I still do. I've not changed my position, but just to like have some variety in this conversation, I would say my moment of the night would be, I know it's like the whole thing, but Kim's monologue was just like, to me, jaw dropping. Like I felt like all of these jokes were just so scandalous. And I was like, oh, I'm being bad watching this, So maybe it's a me thing. But yeah, I was like, I didn't know we were allowed. I didn't know we were like allowed to say all this. It's like, am I going to get in trouble? But yeah, that was my moment. It was her.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't sure what to expect, and
we weren't sure.
That was a pleasant surprise for sure. Let's talk about best sketch. Charlotte?
For me, it's a tie. Hate to be that person.
Say it.
Tie between the Seltzer and Fink. movie reviewer.
You gotta
This is
pick.
really tough.
I gotta pick?
You have to pick. It's the rules.
Okay, well,
Whoa.
I'll choose mine after I hear what you two choose.
What?
Just to make sure that each of them are chosen. Because I have a feeling you two aren't. Why don't you guys go? I'm a tie
Okay.
until they choose.
Okay, this is cheating the system and you're going to get me fired, but I'll allow it. You're welcome. For me, the best sketch was the lottery one. I don't think we're surprised there. I was pretty into it. It was just so goofy, and I've been trying to get more in touch with the silly and remembering that comedy's supposed to be fun. So
Everything okay, Catherine?
sometimes I just feel no, it's just like sometimes I get a lot of projects and I get overwhelmed and I'm like, Catherine, it's stupid. It's
Mhm.
supposed to like just have fun with it, you know?
Mhm.
And so like to me that was just a good reminder of just like be silly. Let
Mhm.
let the mustache come out of the lottery tube. And I really liked that. So yeah, the lottery was a huge, huge win for me. Laura, what's yours?
Very valuable lesson. Just wise what you said there. I just recently took a clowning class, and my teacher said, "An idiot is the best thing you can be." So I'll be
Love
getting that tattoo on my lower back next week. So my best sketch, to answer your question, that's tough. I too was at a crossroads, but I am going to make a decision. And
Okay. All right.
okay, I think it's
Shade.
gonna be grown ass women, and that was hard for me because I really liked Terry Fink. I really liked the hard seltzer sketch as well, but I think I really enjoyed grown ass women because it's a merging of these worlds that we've talked about the entire time, which is like a smart script with silly physical humor.
Mhm.
So I just felt like that delivered on across the board.
Nice. So Charlotte, I don't think we ended up helping you at all.
No, you didn't. I also
Sorry.
just realized that I think several times I called him Henry Fink when it's Terry Fink, so I can't even say
No,
the character's name.
I don't know. Is it Terry or Henry? We
No,
should
I just
respect
looked it
the
up.
character.
It is Terry, and I said Henry at one
Terry.
point for sure.
Oh,
It kind of
It's
works.
okay.
Could be either. Just want to apologize to everybody.
to Terry.
Mostly to Terry. Okay, if it's best sketch of the night, so then I wonder if technically the other one is a character. Like if we go on a technicality, then maybe I
If
would
you
choose-
love Terry, just say you love Terry.
I love
It's
Terry, but I
okay.
also love that other sketch, the seltzer sketch. It's like really a tie for me.
Okay, your moment was Terry, so give best sketch to Please Don't Destroy.
There we go.
Okay,
There
fine.
we go.
Okay, that's a good compromise. Okay, so best sketch would be the seltzer sketch by I forget the name. What is it?
Please don't destroy.
Please don't
Boys,
destroy.
did you hear that? Charlotte loves your group.
Charlotte loves that character in this group so much she can't remember either of their names.
I always forget names in like key moments, like when I'm recording a podcast.
No, this is good. This is good because so nobody gets too high on their little pedestal.
Mhm.
You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't remember their names. This
Stay
is
humble,
nice.
bitches.
Yeah.
All
Me,
right,
Charlotte
so
O'Tremba, forgot your name.
the grueling decision has been made that Charlotte's best sketch is the hard seltzer sketch.
Jesus.
Let's get into MVP. I thought this was a pretty even episode as far as our players. There wasn't really any one person that was just
Yeah.
everywhere.
Mhm.
So I'm going to do something I never would have thought that I would do, and I'm going to give MVP to Kim Kardashian-West.
Whoa!
Because she was in every sketch. I mean, she has to be. She's the host, Catherine. I don't know if
Right.
you knew that. That's
No.
how SNL.
Oh, I've never watched it before.
Yeah, you're new here.
It's okay.
No, I know because yes, she was in everything. She has to be in everything, but she did a good job in everything.
She did.
You know,
She
she came to play. She surprised us all. She was ready to make fun of herself. I think
That's
it
big.
seemed like she was having a really good time, and I thought she did a good job. You know, she didn't have to take on doing an 80 impression or doing a Courtney impression, and she did. And I really respect what she brought to the table. I thought
Mhm.
I thought she did a good job. A lot of people were, you know, really, really worried about it. And all week I was sort of like, it's going to be fine, guys. It's really all right. Like, if she's terrible, they'll just not use her a whole lot. But they used her a lot because I thought she showed up. She was game for it. She was having fun, and so Kim stood out to me, and I'm not ashamed.
Charlotte, what did you think?
I might agree with Catherine. Honestly, like because I do give props to Kim. Everybody underestimated her again, and she delivered. No, she wasn't perfect, but she was there. And again, her monologue, I was very impressed. I just want to give her props because I feel like she went in with a lot of low expectations and she carried it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to give it to Kim too. Not because I'm a follower, but I also agree she could have really put the stops on for the monologue, and that to me, you guys know I loved it. It was jaw-dropping. But also, like, I don't know if she knows she's doing it, but she has this like dry sense of delivery that it's like it just works. Like I don't know. I really don't know if she's doing it. If she knows she's doing it, but like it is a nice contrast to all the other character actors, you know? So to me, it was like it put a spotlight on her, just her being herself.
Yeah, I mean, in the insanity that is her life, you have to learn to respond that way.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. So true.
Well, let's get into the big one. On a scale of classic, great, decent, weak, or train wreck, how would you rate this episode?
I'm going to give it, because there were really only 3 or 4, really only 3 sketches that were home runs for me. I'm going to give this a decent, which is a little harsh, maybe, but that's where I am. Do I need to give more justification?
No, a decent's a 3 out of 5. That makes sense for what you said. I'm going to land in the exact same spot because there was one thing that really hit it out of the park for me. Most of it was kind of middle of the road. Like, I liked it. I didn't love it. Nothing terrible, though. Nothing that I was just like, ugh, why I can't believe I have to watch this twice. So I think it was very firmly in decent territory. Laura, what about you?
Yeah, I would say decent as well. That's where I fell. You know, this stuff is hard. And when you hear 3 out of 5, I'm like, okay, yeah, that helps me understand. I mean, there were moments that popped for me. But yeah, overall, yeah, decent. Decent.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh.
It's decent. It's decent.
When you say
Good
it in
stuff.
a different voice, you're like, okay, decent.
It's a 3 out of 5. It's middle of the road. This was good. This was serviceable. It wasn't fantastic. And that's perfectly fair. We're allowed to feel that way. And that's that. Thank you both for being on the show. This was so fun.
Thank
so
you. I had a blast, Laura. I loved doing this with you this time. This is so fun.
Hope to get us all together again.
For sure. And guys, you can see both Laura and Charlotte in a sketch I wrote and directed called Top 5 Therapy Alternatives.
Oh my gosh.
And also on October 27th, Charlotte will be performing in a show with the sketch team I'm directing at the Laugh Index Theater. So you can check that out at litcomedy.com. And then the next week on November 5th, Laura and our other team, you can see Laura performing with Boogie Manja with our team Wilburn there at twitch.tv/Boogie Manja.
We also have a character showcase coming up on October 21st at the Knitting Factory at 8 p.m. And it's free, people. It is free. I got a grant from the city. So come on, let's fill the room and make it worthwhile. We've got a lot of people that I think Catherine and Charlotte have probably even met that are wonderful character actors. And we're just so excited to have a great cast. And it's produced by Humor Darling, which is my comedy platform. So we're hoping to do more of that.
Okay, well, that's a wrap. Thanks to Charlotte O. Trimba and Laura Ornella. And thanks as well to our most generous patrons, Sam Bowers, Neil Weinstein, Justin Gardner, Grace Kogan, and Brian Clark. If you're enjoying our show, please subscribe on YouTube or wherever better podcasts can be found. Your subscription helps us grow, and your support is greatly appreciated. We'll be back in 1 week when SNL returns with host Rami Malek and musical guest Young Thug. But until then, this has been episode number 143 of the Saturday Night Live Afterparty podcast. I'm Catherine Coleman. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.